Africa. In the mountains in the heart of Tanzania lies the country's most dangerous road. Its name, Mlima Kitonga. Every day, it is a risky race for trucks, buses, and passenger cars at any cost.
We always keep an eye on the schedule. Everything is planned meticulously. If it all works, we arrive just in time.
Whether with trucks or fully loaded tankers, dangerous passing maneuvers are the rule, not the exception. And then, also, contrary to the rules.
The sign says no overtake. It's difficult to overtake, but when we drive the bus, we're supposed to overtake because the bus always is hurrying.
The A7 connects Tanzania's biggest city, Dar es Salaam, with the neighboring countries Congo, Zambia, and Malawi. The most dangerous section of the road, the Kitonga, is just 8 kilometers long. But the gradient is extreme and the abyss is deep. Every day, hundreds of coaches and trucks negotiate the passage. By no means do all of them make it. But the highway is also the lifeline of the region. Despite all the difficulties, numerous farmers manage to survive, thanks to the highway.
This farm, I got it from my father. My father, the first year when he established this farm, he died.
The highway allows numerous businesses to thrive.
Everyone benefits from it, not just those with the towing crane. The young people who help us put the chains on and get the trucks off the road. It helps them scrape together some pocket money.
A driver's license gives the younger generation a chance at a better life, at least for those who pass the test. Iringa, the capital of the province, with about 150,000 inhabitants, is the starting point of the trip. The average age in Tanzania is just 17 years. The population is growing rapidly, and everyone is anxious to get from A to B. Cars are a luxury. For several years now, tuk-tuks have dominated the transport market. Like many things in Tanzania, they are brightly colored and rather noisy. Those who have more luggage use the group buses that have been established here for many years. Everything that needs to go goes in there. And that means everything. But if you need to cover longer distances, you will end up here first, the Igumbilo bus station on the eastern outskirts of the city. More than 100 buses leave here every day, many of them in the direction of Dar es Salaam. It's a 10-hour journey and proceeds along the Kitonga. Before setting off, passengers stock up on essentials at the numerous vendors. The seats on the buses are in great demand. Almost everyone reserves their ticket in advance. Getting a last-minute ticket in the morning is nearly impossible. Ticket inspectors, like Samson, make sure that everyone who has paid is allowed on board. The trip today takes him across the notorious Kitonga.
The highway is very good, but there is some place with danger. You see, if we pass the road, you can see the agenda, and you can see the sign. Some signs Okay, if you pass here, just be careful. Okay, so the high hazard area, just be careful. So with 0.8 kilometer, it's very, very high here, right? Welcome. This is Tanzania.
Departure time is 7:30 in the morning. Payment is made when boarding. A trip to Dar es Salaam on the coast costs about $18. Many passengers arrive at the last second.
Where's the other person?
Today our seats are taken.
Again and again, passengers try to grab a seat, most without success. Standing room is not available. For the next 10 hours, driver Alberto Yatanda will be at the wheel on the most dangerous road in Tanzania. Then, right on time, the bus is ready to head out, or if possible, even earlier, to reach its destination punctually and at maximum speed. Even after departure, passengers are still boarding directly in front of the terminal.
2 seats are still empty, but there are passengers for them on the list. They can still come.
When you're ready.
The bus is full.
Okay.
No, he has a ticket.
And a seat?
Yes.
The very last passengers block the bus with their tuk-tuk. Then the bus sets off in the direction of the Kitonga. While Samson tries to get an overview as to who's on board, driver Alberto enjoys the more relaxed part of the route in the early morning. This is where he makes his first passing maneuver. There are many more to come.
I'm fine. I feel good.
Meanwhile, Samson does another check to make sure his list is correct.
I'm reading the names of the passenger who within the part there.
He is doing that for a special reason.
It's my experience. It's my experience to do this. Right? Let them say. When I'm making this the name of the passenger, we mean that if some emergency occur in the safe, we can see who is in the bus.
In Tanzania, it is common that buses have a built-in GPS tracker. This enables the authorities to monitor travel times and speeds, and also impose penalties for violations. At the same time, it's the driver's job to keep to the schedule at all cost. It's a journey through a gray zone. Helping truck drivers who have broken down is not an option. Nevertheless, the bus stops from time to time, even in the countryside, to pick up the last passengers and for shopping.
Our customer, they want to buy an onion, so we allow them, we will stop, then we allow them to get what they want.
The Iringa region is one of the storehouses of the country. The farmers mainly grow tomatoes, corn, and onions. These are sold literally by the bucket load.
$6,000 for tomatoes.
6,000 Tanzanian shillings is roughly $2.5 US. Most roadside vendors are middlemen.
Give me 2,000.
They buy the goods at the farms, then try to sell them at a premium along the roadside. The highway and the Kitonga are dangerous, but for many, also the best way to earn a living and provide for their families. Like McGuinness Jr. Every morning, the 19-year-old rounds up several workers from the surrounding villages to cultivate his onion field. It's a destiny against his will. McGuinness' father died a year ago, presumably by suicide. To this day, he doesn't know the exact reasons, but he knows that the fate of the family is now in his hands.
This farm, I got it from my father. My father, the first year when he established this farm, he died. When he died, he left the crops were like this, as you see. After that, me, I was in Form 3. So my mother, the one who was taking care for these crops. After being Form 3, I went Form 4. For this year, I graduated Form 4. After that, the whole day I come to start myself to help my mother. My mother is at home. So I'm the one now taking care for the whole activity.
Since then, the family lives from growing onions. McGuinness, his mother, and brother. During the dry season from May to September, the only chance to get enough water is with a diesel-powered pump. A liter of diesel currently costs around $1 US, but additional costs continue to rise year after year. These are challenges that are becoming increasingly difficult, especially for the younger generation.
Can you help me with the water pump?
Annual average income in Tanzania is just $1,000. McGuinness's is less than that. To complete a harvest takes months and brings him $2,500, but 1/3 of that goes to the workers.
So it can see taking like few months, like 1 month or 3 weeks or 4 weeks to plant here, because it is very tough to plant. It will always be dry because these crops we are planting when in drying season. So when it's drying season and when we plant, the land is being hard compared to now when we have watered. It's being hard, so they're using much of power to keep it on the ground.
Up here in the mountains at an altitude of 1,500 meters, McGuinness is not yet feeling any effects of global warming. Nevertheless, Tanzania's young generation wants to switch to renewable energies simply to save costs.
I asked for the support from the government to bring for me the electricity, so that because that machine, it uses water, it uses fuel, diesel fuel. From the buying, I always go to buy and for watering. So I asked the support from the government that can help me to bring the electricity. They said no, because you are alone, you can't bring electricity. Maybe there could be a lot of people I could bring the electricity. So that's giving me challenge, because some of the days, even I don't have some money to go to buy to go to buy oil, so that's that, yes.
McGuinness has no wholesale customer. He sells his goods to individual customers himself. They find him along the roadside when it's harvest time and simply drop by. Even though the highway is dangerous, for him, it represents a chance for a better life. McGuinness's life's goal was to be a doctor, not a farmer. But for now, he has to keep the farm running.
I can't pay my school fees for myself, so I have to come here to work to get school fees and to go to pay for the studying. It's for the future. It is about to send my sons to those good schools so that they can get good education, so that it can become to help them when they have their own life later on. So that's why I'm struggling.
The young generation somehow manages to get by. It's the fate for many in Tanzania. McGuinness is hoping for a good harvest, while the bus with controller Samson and driver Alberto is hoping to get through the Kitonga today without incident.
The schedule is well thought out. Yes, we have a plan. And we don't make any stops that are not necessary, so we arrive on time.
The mountain pass is like threading the eye of a needle. Many truck drivers work as subcontractors. They are responsible for the condition of their vehicles. From time to time, some break down. The risks of overtaking maneuvers increase with every kilometer.
Yeah, it's difficult to overtake because the science says no overtake. It's difficult to overtake, but when we drive the bus, we're supposed to overtake because the bus always is hurrying. You see, the bus always is hurrying. But even if you are not allowed to overtake, but sometimes you do it.
In the towns, speed bumps attempt to reduce the pace of things. Permitted is 50 miles per hour, but even that only helps to a limited extent. Those stuck on the road who don't have a warning triangle start a fire or drag branches onto the road to warn other vehicles. Finally, the bus approaches the last major town before Kitonga, Ilula. Ilula is the last chance for a break before heading through the most dangerous part of the journey. Many use the time to stretch their legs in the stores, bars, and restaurants, especially the truckers. Buses pass, at least whenever the chance allows. According to statistics, Tanzania does not have a conspicuously high accident rate. But when a crash occurs, the fatality count is high. Tanzanians can get a driver's license at age 18. Like here, at the Doxa Driving School. Courses should actually be taking place here right now. Today's curriculum included accelerating, refueling, and shifting gears. But today, classes have been canceled. There are more important things to do. The driving school car is broken and has been in the workshop for a week. Driving instructor Mnyama is hoping his driving school car will be road ready again in just a few hours. The problem occurred when a student driver hit another car during a lesson.
The mindset of the student was not right.
The reason?
It seems the student was drinking too much, was drunk.
In Tanzania, the alcohol limit for private motorists is 0.8. Professional drivers are not allowed a single drop.
That's the problem. This is the car.
The car should actually be running again today. But even after a week of repairs, its condition is still borderline. Repairmen are still scraping and sanding the body. Auto repair, Tanzanian style. The main thing is that the car is roadworthy again. Detail work is just not that important.
The car rear-ended another car. The windshield was shattered, and a few parts in the interior were broken.
Take a look at the new windshield. You can lift up the old one and take a look at that one. We just changed it. The new one's in already. That's the old one.
Fortunately, the windshield has already been replaced. The most important thing was fixed. It was just a minor accident.
The
driving instructor prevented the worst case. Otherwise, it would have been a total loss. If you look inside the car, you can see that everything is all right. There's a set of pedals on the student side and on the instructor's side. Here on the instructor's side, we have a brake and a clutch. So if there's a mistake, we can step on a pedal to prevent an accident. The driving instructor did as much as he could. His foot was on the brake, so nothing should have gone wrong. But the student had his foot on the gas at the same time, and then it just happened.
Once the bodywork has been repaired, the next task is the interior. At first, no one knows the amount of damage sustained. The mechanic's biggest concerns are the engine and clutch, and time pressure is mounting. The driver trainees are already waiting. To apply for a job as early as possible, they need a driver's license to be able to navigate the Kitonga, Tanzania's most hazardous road. Meanwhile, bus driver Alberto has already arrived. He hopes to deliver about 50 passengers safely to their destination. Fender benders and minor accidents are part of everyday life, but time and again fatalities do occur. In 2020, an overloaded bus overturned and slid down a slope. The result, 10 dead and 50 injured. Alberto nevertheless remains relaxed.
The Kitonga is not such a big problem. The challenge is simple. There are many cars, many trucks, so we have to be careful. We have a lot of experience avoiding accidents, and we try our best.
Hundreds of meters of steep gradient with just 2 lanes, and that over a distance of 8 kilometers. Stalled trucks are considered harmless. The route from the coast to the Congo is packed with dozens of coaches and many more trucks, transporting their goods over 1,000 kilometers cross-country. This leads to risky passing maneuvers every single minute for buses, trucks, and passenger cars. They also must keep an eye out for pedestrians, mainly street vendors, in the middle of the roadway. Be it engine damage or a traffic jam, they make sure that no one is stuck on the road with an empty stomach. Above all, the Kitonga is a chance for vendors to earn a little money to help them make ends meet. At the upper end of the Kitonga, students earn pocket money this way. Jerome's parents are farmers. His family doesn't pay school fees. That is paid by the state. But students have to buy their school uniforms and books themselves. That's why Jerome buys a sack of corn from a neighboring farmer during school holidays out of his own pocket.
We all go to the farm, harvest the corn, take everything with us, and come here. Everyone does it that way. Everyone can take a hut here, sell corn, and hire their own people. Then in the evening, everybody pays their workers. I usually hire 2 people and let them sell the corn.
Jerome buys corn from the farmer for 200 shillings per cob, the equivalent of around 8 American cents. His buddies then sell them, grilled, for 2.5 times that. Their best customers are truck drivers. They don't even have to stop. Students offer the truckers a fast, inexpensive drive-through option, so to speak. For that, they receive a small commission from Jerome.
If I get 200 corn on the cob but don't sell them all, my profit drops to 20,000.
That's when things go badly?
Yes, that's bad.
And when things go well?
If things go well, my profit is 50,000. With the profit, we buy school supplies, such as school uniforms and shoes. And private stuff, like clothes. But I try to save most of my money for when it's needed.
On good days, this amounts to the equivalent of $20 US in profit. On bad days, just 8. There is not much to do during school vacations, so the guys enjoy selling corn on the roadside.
Life is cool. I have younger siblings. One of them is there behind me. We all work in agriculture. Do you know Cristiano Ronaldo? When I grow up, I will be a soccer player just like him. I have just as much talent.
Along with boxing, soccer is one of the most popular sports in Tanzania. Even though no African country has ever won the Soccer World Cup, these are all opportunities for Tanzania's young generation to live the dream. Even if it takes strength and endurance. Students at the local driving school have a little more money and less alluring dreams. At the age of 18, they are allowed behind the wheel, and many hope to get their driver's license as soon as possible. First of all, that means cramming for the theoretical.
And we have some books here that we are going to use because we are nearly to driving practice session.
Today's lesson for the 2 students is gear shifting.
If you want to go to a gear number 1, you must make sure that you move first the gear lever to this side. Then you go at the left side. If you go forward, means that one is a gear number 1. Then if you go back, means that one is gear number 2. You can make sure that the gear lever is at the neutral point. Then you use the clutch. After then, you move that gear lever to a gear number 3.
In Tanzania, there are state-run driving schools as well as private ones like this. Students hope to get a better education here. They must pay $160. The driving school gets $100, the state $60.
If you want to get a job to a big companies, to a private owners, means you must show the license. We have a lot of students. They are now driving huge cars, trucks, and other. They are just waiting for the job, because getting job is just a process. You must have what they say experience. So experience comes with it.
To ensure that the next practical lesson does not end in another accident, student drivers first train in a so-called simulator.
First thing, when I enter to the car, I close the belt. I step to the clutch and brake. I switch on my car. I push the gear number 1, which is found in the left. After that, I move my leg to the brake. I start to the accelerator. In my dashboard, it is ready RPM 2 PM.
Gas, brake, clutch, and gear shift. Sounds simple, but the country's most dangerous stretch of road is just around the corner. And behind the wheel, it also offers the chance to earn some money.
I want to be a driver for people, because many people want to travel, but the drivers are very few. That's why I want to drive the bus. No one can tell me I am a good driver. That is my mind which tell me I am a good driver.
Why are you closing the belt?
The next step is to get the driving school's real car back from the workshop on time. The trainee drivers are eager to get out on the road as quickly as possible. Experienced bus driver Alberto has just reached the most demanding spot of all, the heart of the Kitonga. Trucks lying in the ditch are quite normal sights.
Always the bus is a high speed, and the trucks, just you can see, is low speed. So if you drive a bus, you can follow the truck just like this. It's going speed, 10 speed, whatever. You can follow it.
But a few seconds later, everything comes to a standstill. Then, without further warning, Samson swings out and tries to guide the bus through, moving from gap to gap. This is the bus crew's only chance of keeping to the timetable, and for the passengers to reach their destination on time. Uneasiness is gradually spreading. Samson, meanwhile, searches for the cause of the traffic jam. He battles his way through, truck by truck, and sends a status report. At the same time, driver Alberto makes use of every gap to further his progress. But with oncoming traffic, there's no chance. No one knows when the journey will continue. For those who have a complete breakdown, there are plenty of roadside signs for garages and towing services. Whoever calls them will end up in places like this. The truck workshop near Kitonga rebuilds everything that has 4, 8, 12, or more wheels, according to customer wishes. No matter if brand new or nearly scrap. Aseme learned how to repair cars and trucks on the road as a teenager. He has been working here for 6 years and does everything from refurbishing chassis to changing multi-axles and engines. An electric shock was the worst thing that ever happened to him.
I can't remember my toughest job. I've done so many rebuilds and have so much experience. But I do remember pain. One day I nearly got electrocuted. I remember that, when I got that electric shock. When you start in a store like this, you're faced with a lot of things. The grounding for the machine has to be connected to the chassis. We did that here too. There's a wire which has to go in a sheath, just like the welding wire itself. When the wire has contact with the chassis, you're bound to get a shock, because the circuit is closed. Your only hope is that someone finds you and sees what's going on and quickly disconnects you.
Several dozen vehicles are piled up on the site. Aseme gets each car up and running again within 2 weeks, including modifications. That is, if the customer has enough cash and can afford it at the drop of a hat. The rule here is, if it doesn't fit, it will be made to fit. All according to your desired design. From custom welded tractor trailers and completely refurbished 6-axle vehicles to installing all new engines, Aseme is your guy.
This one, for example, came with its own chassis. Here we disassembled everything, cylinders and all. Now we're going to mount a double chassis and 2 axles. Here we've also added extra axles. Now there are 2 in the back and 2 in the front. It's almost finished. We just need to paint it.
Aseme and his boys make sure everything ends up back on the road, like this car. Actually, the car was on its way from the east coast of Africa to the interior of the continent, or more precisely, to the Congo. But on the way there, the driver had an accident. Now the task is fixing the car as quickly as possible, so it can continue on what may be its final journey. Workshop employees use their truck to lift everything they can off the road.
We use the crane to lift the cars up and get them off the road. The person who controls it has the most important job. We have to rely on him. If the car crashes down after we've got it in the air, it's our fault. The man who made the mistake is from our company. If we have to change an engine quickly, we also use the crane to get it out and fix it here.
The Kitonga is one of the most important sources of income for the workshop. When you break down here, they get the call. Serious accidents make up a big part of the workshop's survival, much like for Tanzania's younger generation who are looking for a job.
It's not only the owners of the crane who make money from all this. It's also the young people. We always take a few with us. They help us to lift the trucks and attach the chains. That way they make a little money.
On the Kitonga, the motto is, everything that can be fixed will be fixed, whether trucks, cars, or buses. But they also cause accidents and traffic jams, like right now. Every day, the most important requirement of the bus crew is to reach their destination on time. Stay on schedule at all costs. Meanwhile, ticket taker Samson has identified the cause of the traffic jam. There's several broken down trucks up ahead. The key is to overtake them as quickly as possible.
If you want to be in time with your customer, if you pass this mountain, if you pass it, that's easy. You can take it. If there is the possible, you see, if there is a possible, you can pass it. And there's a breakdown there. What accident there is a breakdown there. So this way is true. So if the problem occurs in this area, it's a big problem. It's a big congestion. You see? Okay, let's go. That's bad. That's bad. See?
Accidents like this are a big problem for everyone on the road. But it's a welcome change for the numerous animals watching from the roadside. In this case, for the monkeys. A brief glimpse of Tanzania's diverse wildlife. The national parks around the Kitonga are home to numerous species. Among them are lions, cheetahs, and leopards, and also wildebeests, zebras, gazelles, and elephants. Once the Kitonga is behind you, animals of another kind await the hungry travelers. Freshly prepared as a tasty treat for the road trip. Like at the Kitonga Polyculture Agriculture Farm. 21-year-old Flora takes care of everything from tadpoles to pregnant females here.
It's best to use this one.
Up to the fat ones that ultimately end up in the cooking oil.
We grow tilapia here because many people like to eat tilapia. Catfish, on the other hand, is not so popular. We sell the big fish as food and earn some money from it.
Around 400 fish thrash about in each of the 4 tanks until slaughtered. Their most important task is to lay eggs to keep the population expanding. One of the farm's most vital means of subsistence is the highway. as it is for nearly everyone in the region.
Umuhimu tunanufaika kuwa karibu na barabara.
We benefit from the proximity to the road.
Mizigo
All kinds of goods come to us directly from the capital, Dar es Salaam.
moja kwa moja. Pia kusafirisha inakuwa rahisi.
It's also much easier to transport animals. Freshly hatched chicks, for example.
Eh?
It's also good for selling food.
Karanga. Umeona? Pia hata biashara yetu za
The buses stop only briefly, so passengers take their food with them and quickly move on.
Besides fish, farmers also raise chickens, geese, and turkeys. Hardly any of the chickens here have ever enjoyed a natural existence. Their birthplace is in a factory at the end of the highway, in the biggest city of Tanzania.
yani kuku sisi tuna mashine zetu da.
We have our own machines in Dar es Salaam,
Umeona? Pia tunauza
where we hatch chicks and sell them after 3 months.
Tuliwaweka mwaka jana mwezi wa 3. Au naona
We raise them, and when they're ready, we sell them full grown on the street and in our store.
Huwa tunauza barabarani, pia tunauza kwenye biashara ya chakula. Bata mzinga, bata bukini.
We also sell turkeys and geese, if someone wants them.
Kwa pia kama mtu anahitaji vifaranga.
With Tanzania's enormous population growth and the increasing number of tourists mainly visiting the national parks, the number of travelers is also steadily increasing. And with it, the sale of fresh, fast food on the go. Fish and chicken are ideal and increasingly popular.
We want to open a rest stop here soon. Then travelers will come by to eat. We already have concrete plans for that. That's why we're not selling any more chickens for slaughter right now. We're looking to keep them all here to be as cost effective as possible.
It's almost lunchtime. Many guests place their order at the last minute in the morning and pick it up fresh a little later. Like today, chicken and fish. The maximum is caught fresh and prepared for consumption as soon as possible.
Flora, we have 2 big ones.
The recipe itself is rather simple, just the way the customers like it.
We need salt, lemon, and this fish masala spice mixture.
Masala.
First, the scaled fish dries in the sun for half an hour. And then, with entertaining music playing on a cell phone, it ends up in the sizzling fat. About 10 minutes later, it's time for the garnishment. Delicious hand-cut fries. It's a classic with the guests. Fish is also Flora's preferred meal. But as a side dish, she prefers so-called uligari, some kind of corn porridge.
I like cornmeal and fish the most. We grow it fresh here ourselves. And many customers also like our fish very much. I enjoy cooking simply because I like doing it. I always have something to do. And I like that.
All that's missing are a few stewed onions, a few vegetables, and some tomatoes, topped with a spicy sauce. Ready to eat. Fried fish and chicken for about $4 per serving. But travelers don't only get fresh meat from here. Fresh vegetables are also available. The farm workers are on their way to the fields where they grow them. The fields are located across the highway, closer to the mountains. To get there, they first have to cross a river. The only way to get across is with a basket on a taut wire. Farm owners strung the rope themselves. Everyone in the region may use this passage as they wish. It is known to everyone here, and it is the only way to get to the highway, to get from the hinterland to present-day civilization, and back again. The risk involved is just part of everyday life. To get back a little later, it is the same procedure again. After about a half an hour, the farmers approach the bean field. Their hope is to cultivate the land well and then sell what they reap.
We have many activities which are done. So if we were for our capacity, we cannot control all of them. We can base with some, and some we can sell in order to make it be better. Yeah.
Increasing growth, increasing specialization. Everyone on the farm believes in their business model and are looking for investors to further accelerate growth. The highway brings hope to all in the region. The increasing number of travelers has made an impact here, especially with fish farming.
For now, we have a few buses which are sell or which are buy from us, but we need to make sure for next years we have many buses which come and buy our food. So for future, we need to expand. For example, in fish farm.
Whether farmers, breeders, workshops, or driving schools, for all of them, the highway is not only dangerous, it also presents an opportunity. Meanwhile, Samson's bus has almost reached its destination beyond the mountains. The border of the Iringa district. Only a few more trucks to pass, and the goal is reached. For Samson, Alberto, and their families back home, the highway keeps them all alive.
I feel good. I feel good. I've experience of that area. I know. Always, day after day, I'm passing there. Yes. I'm not fear to pass there because always, day after day, every day, I'm passing this way.
For Samson, it is obvious that the future for him and his family lies on the road, so to speak.
My dreams I want to be the owner of the buses. Sometimes later I want to be the owner of the buses because I like this work. You see?
So you want to buy this bus?
Yeah. If God wish, I'm going to buy. I think after 2 years later, 2 years, I'm going to buy. Not a big one. Not a big one like this. It's a small. Not a big one. It's a small one. I like this job. I like to be a big msafirishaji bora.
Finally, the bus reaches Ruaha Mbiuni. For Samson, the journey is over, while new guests climb aboard. For the travelers, the journey continues toward the biggest city of Tanzania, Dar es Salaam. From that moment on, everyone leaves the Kitonga behind. Most of them, at least. One person probably still has his most dangerous journey ahead of him. The driving school car has been repaired. The next driving lesson is just a few minutes away. But before taking off, the student has to take care of some important details.
For this time, we are going to put water in the radiator in order to drive the car. After that, you are going to see the oil. You will measure the oil here in order to know how.
Everything looks good. Now, the car just needs to start. The driving lesson can begin.
For driving, you must use a belt.
The final goal of the student driver is to learn to drive big trucks and buses as soon as possible. It's his chance to earn a regular income. But to do that, he first has to learn how to drive a normal car. Today's task? Shifting gears and holding to the lane. The road leads directly to the most dangerous section of all, the Kitonga. But from the start, the driving lesson is not exactly going well.
there's no problem, but the problem is the side of the student. He's just trying to his best level.
According to studies, young men cause a large number of accidents. One of the main reasons, besides alcohol, is lack of experience.
I think it is not. It is his knowledge. He's knowledgeable enough, but low confidence. What is needed there is confidence.
Stay on the line.
The student seems to become more tense by the second, unnerving the driving instructors as well. After just a few minutes, it becomes clear. For him, maneuvering the Kitonga, the most dangerous road in Tanzania, is still a long way off. He needs more practice.
I think almost 1 week driving. Yeah, almost a week.
1 week every day?
Yeah, 1 week every day. At least 2 hours per day for those 7 days.
Despite all the hurdles and dangers, Tanzania's young generation will not be deterred from their dreams of a good income and the chance for a good life so quickly.
Supposed to be laying in more practice about driving, which can make me to be a good driver. In the practice, there's many challenges which I can meet with them. I can know how can I perform that challenge to drive the people. You can take the care of the people and of you, the driver.
It won't be long before this student driver will become another one of the new young guns on the roads of Tanzania. On the Kitonga, one of the most dangerous roads in the world.
Transportation in Kenya. It's like nowhere else on Earth. With buses and smaller vehicles called matatus, pimped up to attract customers. Bus here is 50 bob. Conductors and others hanging off the side. Tempting fate and a danger to other fellow public transport passengers. Don't just use your helmet, use your brain. But these guys are nothing compared to the flying trucks transporting miraa to customers across the country. These guys are overloaded, breaking speed limits everywhere they go, just missing other vehicles and pedestrians. Because people who chew miraa to get high need it to be as fresh as possible. Nsibe is a local truck driver who has been around for about 7 decades. For 5 of those, he has been in the transportation business. The last 3, he's been delivering miraa. It has been a couple of slow months for Nsibe. The drought has devastated miraa farms, making deliveries few and far between. Nsibe has just received a call requesting for a delivery. Okay, no problem. I will be there. The only problem is that his vehicle needs a quick fix. He rushes to get oil filters from the auto shop. Ken, one of Nsibe's nephews, is tagging along. He's eager to learn from the Grand Master, and the basics are very important. That one helps with filtration. It is called the oil filter. We have to change it when servicing the car. We have to change the oil too. This is missing now. Nsibe knows the beast inside and out, feels its pain, and looks for a remedy. I don't know the exact kilometers it has traveled, just an estimate based on days and the locations it might have gone. But the Grand Master looks like he brought the wrong filters. Look at the holes if they match. I don't think so. It looks like the one we have bought doesn't match. We have to go back to the auto shop and get it changed. Maybe it's the threading difference. But they're trying to look for a solution to sort it. In the end, he has found out what is wrong with his baby. All will be well. I have sorted it out. I don't know what the problem was. I think he was tightening it the wrong way. The beast of Mawa is finally ready. For the various driving jobs he does, Nsibe makes about $80 a day. 80% of that goes to renting the Land Rover. The remainder allows him to live a reasonable lifestyle. Today, he is picking up workers to take them to the Mira farms for harvesting. It is a rough and bumpy ride for passengers. We voted in the Member of Parliament to fix our road, but he has not done anything. I can't even move a wheelbarrow up this terrible road. Right now, we've got to get to the Mira farm, and the car can't get us there. We all have to walk from here, even the driver over here. He can tell you how many times he's had to fix worn-out tires. There is danger here, even on such a seemingly routine trip. Vehicles here often tip over on their sides when overloaded with passengers, seriously injuring the human cargo. Nsibe has cleared the worst part. And now he has some company in the cab as he is joined by one of the young harvesters. You are so quiet. Why are you like a jukebox? You got to put in some money. Why are you laughing? Look at the condition of our roads. We just got to drive slowly. Nsibe is the first link in the supply chain of the flying trucks. They deliver Mira, a mild stimulant that is in huge demand in East Africa. Mira is big business, particularly in the farming area of Meru in the north of the country. Thousands of people make a living from this plant. There are various qualities, with an especially potent one called muguka. People say Mira is like wine, while muguka is like vodka. The crew gets loose before they dive in and start gathering the Mira. The harvesters will be paid for what they produce, but receive some payment before they start. Some will get 500 Kenyan shillings, about $4. Others as much as 2,500 or $20. They return money if they don't meet their quota and get more for a productive day. Mary Riara inherited the Miraa business from her parents. She has run the farm very successfully despite recent challenges. Her harvesters like to enjoy some Kenyan tea before they start to work. If you are not experienced, you cannot harvest Miraa. See, like the ones he is holding look better. It's not the same as the ones in the tree. This one is good quality. If you harvest this poor quality, he will just kick you out. He will tell you you are a poor harvester. These ones we just throw away because they are not good. A landowner can have a pretty good life, especially if they know the business of farming. The Miraa was planted by my dad when I was young. These Miraa trees are between 30 and 35 years. I use these Miraa to take care of both my siblings and my children. All my nephews, nieces, and my own children have all gone to university from the money we get here. The harvesters are being rushed. The harvest is complete. Everyone is ready to head home, but Nsibe's machine is putting his patience to the test. Mzee, this door, you need to pull the wire to open. The door won't close. Old man, your car is broken. That's why I tell you guys to hold on tight. As always, Nsebe makes a small fix, and they are off to deliver the product as fast as possible. This car is a lion. It is a beast. We are Miraa workers. Nsibe has arrived at the sorting center, where the Miraa is repacked to go in many different directions across the country. Kefa is another local driver making a living from the leaf. He is going through his routine, getting the vehicle ready for its breakneck trip to the capital. Are the clips finished? What about the brake pads? Did you check them? What about you? Did you finish cleaning it up? As they wrap rope around the springs and they fix the tires, the car is washed. This is where the flying in flying trucks starts. Getting Miraa from Meru to the Kenyan capital Nairobi. It needs to get there while it's still fresh. So a normally 6-hour journey will be nearly cut in half. Kefa is running out of time to start his journey. The loading is taking too long. The drivers have all parked their vehicles in the same place immediately after the Miraa arrived. But finally, the packing is done and he is off to Nairobi. So he will see other flying trucks, hopefully in his rearview mirror, on the road to the capital. He is gonna have to fly. He is way behind schedule. And many Miraa sellers and users are waiting at the end of the line. Britain banned the import of Miraa, classifying it as a Type C drug in 2014, equivalent to cannabis. The Somali ban reportedly cost farmers a daily market of 50 tons. Recently, Somalia ended its ban on Kenyan Miraa, or khat as it's called there, in August 2022. In the first 4 days after the ban was lifted, almost $2 million worth of the plant was moved across the border. The flying trucks are on their way to Nairobi. Kefa is getting frustrated with the car. It is experiencing stability problems despite the quick service in the morning. There is a problem with this car. What's wrong with it? I think the wheel alignment is off. This is a major risk. Such a problem has killed Mira drivers in the past, including someone Kefa knew well. Kefa focuses firmly on the road. About 50 kilometers into our journey through the meandering slopes, we come to Nithi Bridge, one of the most dangerous black spots in Kenya. Hundreds of lives have been lost here. The 2-kilometer descent is a hair-raising experience even for the most competent drivers. This is a very dangerous place if you have faulty brakes. My friend died here. He was overlapping when he met 2 vehicles on this other side, just before that corner. He got thrown outside the vehicle through the window. He earns about 4,000 Kenyan shillings per trip, or 80,000 Kenyan shillings per month, equivalent to about $600. There is no formal competition, but these guys are covering the same ground, passing each other and being passed along the route. Kefa's mechanical problem is causing him to lose ground on the other delivery daredevils. While nobody gets paid for reaching Nairobi first, there are bragging rights and pride. Navigating small towns offers obstacles that can lead to deadly consequences. But that's not going to slow Kefa. Look what they're doing. That guy is crazy. Look. Are they nuts? He will keep the brakes for him. Just wait. Look. What's happening today? If those 2 continue like this, they will cause an accident. At Murangeni Market, more Mira action awaits. Keep it there, next to that bag. The packages must be packed tight. Mistakes can send valuable product flying off to nowhere. Joseph Kabura is a wily veteran of the Mira game and twice Kefa's age. He has seen rookie drivers take bad spills and civilians paying dearly by getting in the way of the delivery daredevils. He has also had a few scrapes with death himself. The danger is not only countered by taking good care of his vehicle. He asks God for a little help too. I am praying for this driver to drive safely. Give him wisdom to avoid all obstacles. We pray and believe. Amen. We are Mira guys. This one, we put it here. Its drop-off is Roysambu. Joseph is off to catch up with Kefa in the capital. I started driving these Mira trucks in 1993. Long ago, there were no banks, and so all the Mira money had to be handled in cash. There was a lot of insecurity then. One day I was shot at by thieves who wanted to take my 450,000 shillings. You can see the mark the bullet left. Navigating the small towns that line the route to Nairobi offers opportunities for disaster, as civilians are never ready for the high-speed flying trucks. There used to be so many potholes on the roads. We spent so much time driving, and Mira needs to arrive on time so it's fresh. Because if Mira gets stale, you will lose a ton of money. That makes this work too tough. As Joseph cuts through Embu town via some near misses and attempting to catch up, Kefa cuts across the expansive Mwea irrigation scheme. It was set up about 70 years ago, the second oldest in the country. Mwea supplies Kenyans with over 60% of their domestically grown rice. Rice is grown easily here because of the abundant water resources. These farmers aren't planting Mira. And they could live without the delivery vehicles passing through their area. Stima is one of the rice farmers here with about 4 acres of land that he's responsible for. Over the weekend, he visits his family and his rice paddy. He heads to the farm with his wife. The rains have failed and the crops have dried. It's too dry and we're not able to weed. It has not rained for a while. You see the ground is already cracked up because there is no water. Mzee, you live in Nairobi, and I'm sure you have already forgotten how to farm rice. You can see the work we do here when you are in Nairobi. You have really done a good job here. Although there is no rain, the rice has grown really well. These farms were established by the colonial government. It was really like slavery here. It was quite a lot of difficult work establishing the farms. A lot of workers ran away. Joseph passes not far from Stima's farm, oblivious to the rice fields, concerned only with making good time. When you go through these towns, there are a lot of turns. You need to be careful. There are pedestrians, cars, motorbikes, and they present danger. You have to be careful or you will make accidents, which reflects on Mira drivers. People say Mira drivers are careless. No, we are very, very careful drivers. As a Mira driver, we are supposed to follow the rules. The reason why Mira is never late is we never make stopovers. You don't have to drive recklessly because the law will punish you. His speed is unmatched, but with maximum care. His focus is on the road. Trailing him are other Mira drivers. Mira is important in the Meru culture. If you want to marry a girl, you bring her father Mira. This will show respect and that you understand our culture. Mira is important to the older people here. If you have a dispute with someone, you might give a friend some Mira to deliver. Then you will solve the dispute. No more hard feelings. Joseph's steady hand and experience both pay off as he passes another Mira driver speeding towards Nairobi. As a Mira driver, you're not the only one on the road. You really need to prioritize servicing the car. Don't treat it like a small private car. Even while you see us driving fast, we don't drive stupidly. We accelerate where the road is clear. We used to drive even faster when we went to the airport when the Mira was going to Britain. We would go as fast as 160. We had to get there fast to keep the Mira fresh for the flight. The highway ends in Nairobi. People are just getting up, with the hellish rush to get through the capital's packed roads about to unfold. Joseph's arrival coincides with Kefa also breaking into the city. Avoiding collisions as Nairobi approaches, it's time to start delivering. On Kefa's co-driver's seat is Peter, and although it does look like he is just throwing bags out the window, this saves time. Upon reaching the capital's superhighway, there's a new danger. Motorbikes, or boda-bodas, as they're known here, that don't follow the rules of the road or common sense much of the time, causing accidents to happen. Don't just use your helmet, use your brain. This is very careless. You were riding carelessly. I saw you and how you were riding, and you hit me from behind. Kefa has made his first deliveries, but the rest of his load is going to Eastleigh via the Thika Superhighway. He soldiers on through, as this is his job. But after a long and eventful journey, once again, he's made a successful delivery to the Eastleigh neighborhood of the Kenyan capital, populated primarily by ethnic Somalis, known for their appetite for miraa. In Nairobi, Joseph and Kefa's aggressive tactics are mirrored by public transport, although with a bit more style. It is pomp, color, and music that rules in the streets of Nairobi. Matatu is what most public transport in Kenya is called, whether it's big like a bus or small like a minivan. It's a party on wheels for the youth who love the loudest and the classy matatu. Kenya's tricked-out public transport is famous throughout the world. From pop stars to sports teams and musical genres, Matatu owners challenge artists to meet their vision and bring their themes to life. And they pay them well. Young people want flash, pimped-up vehicles and throbbing music. Customizing them adds another $10,000 to $15,000 to the price tag. This vehicle is a tribute to the 5-time NBA champion, San Antonio Spurs. The details have to be just right, from the players' faces to the team colors, and great moments to memorialize. Every inch of this vehicle screams Spurs, NBA champions. I'm the lights guy. I decorate the matatus. We are at KCI now. This is one of the matatus we are customizing. I love my job because when people see a colorful matatu, they appreciate it. I feel proud of my work. I really love my job because it's very interesting. The music has to be lit. Customers demand it, as does the vehicle's owner. They call me Basi. I'm the sound technician for the buses. For example, this bus here. I'm fixing the mid-speakers for the bus. I love the customization of matatus, graffiti, and loud music because this is what gives us jobs. The type of the sound system depends on the owner of the vehicle and the quality that they need. Some can take a whole month to fix the system. Others take just a day. The job is finished. The San Antonio Spurs are ready to rock Nairobi. The vehicles ply one route, going back and forth between the same destinations with the same stops along the way. Passengers will part with 30 to 100 shillings, less than $1 for most rides. The flashiest rides charge higher prices and are in more demand. Some passengers are looking for their musical match. From Afrobeat to Western pop, old school to Amapiano, rhythms to reggae. They feel like they're in the club on their way to work or back home, or actually out to the club. The Mira trucks have met their match as far as trying to get places fast, at least here in the big city. My name is Wesley Agoso. I'm a matatu driver. I love my work because it's not like office work, because the job does not have a lot of pressure. If you work well, this is the best job out there. Young people love these colorful matatus because of the music and graffiti. The old buses only do 4 trips a day. My matatu does 8 trips because many people like them, and I'm always done by 7 p.m. while the old buses finish late at night with fewer trips. The old buses take too long to fill in passengers, and they're ugly, so the young people don't like them. But the older generations prefer the calm and quiet one, like Stima, the rice farmer from Muea's Matatu. This is a tough job because you have to mind the hand carts and the other pedestrians. He trades the calm and quiet of the fields for the rough and rugged roads of Nairobi, perhaps satisfying his competitive edge. Stima ferries passengers from Gikomba Market to CBD. This is one of the shortest but toughest routes in town. Gikomba is the largest retail market in East Africa, with over 65,000 vendors hawking their wares. Here it's all about speed. The 2.8-kilometer distance can take up to an hour due to heavy traffic. Mwangi, nicknamed Stima due to his aggressive and fast driving, is a favorite of many impatient traders who need to move their goods as fast as possible. Stima has to make enough money to support himself as well as his family and rice farm back in the village. Among the passengers are Mira traders who are going to fetch the cot from the city center. Sellers in the Somali-dominated area of Eastleigh jump on Joseph's truck ready to do business. Customers have been waiting. Here is where the money is made. Those people are traders who will take the Mira to other locations. This is the pickup center. The motorbike guys, everyone, comes here to fetch Mira and take it to the retail shops. The journey was successful. God has made it possible for our safety. We didn't encounter any problems, and we were on time. Mira is a good thing. Its benefit is when you want to work. It gives you energy and helps you stay awake for long hours. It's not like beer, which makes you tired. The Mira has not finished its travels. It's popular on the Kenyan coast, including the tourist mecca of Lamu. Once again, Mira needs to be transported and fast. These traders will haggle to get their best deal, but they better do it quickly. It is 6 hours to the coast and then a boat ride to Lamu. Remember, it needs to get to the customer tasting fresh. I swear by God, if we don't have Mira, we can't survive. Captain Hassan Bwana has been sailing these waters for a quarter century. His routes would often take him to Somalia and the islands of Pate and Lamu. He moved Mira mostly to Somalia for a decade. Boats would take Mira from Lamu to the Kiamboni border, where Somali boats would pick it up. Transporting to Somalia would cost between 80,000 and 100,000 Kenyan shillings, at the time about $1,000. There used to be even more boats when Mira was going to Somalia, but now the product goes to Mogadishu by air. The Mira trucks arrived at various hours, sometimes 11, sometimes noon. The captain has set out to sea to make the final leg of the journey on his boat, the Golden Leaf. The other boats flying by are Captain Hassan's competition, but there are risks. Angry seas are known to turn a boat over, and often both the product and profits can be lost. Boats are expensive, but the Mira profits easily cover their costs and that of fuel. Captain Hassan finally docks. There are plenty of customers here. Even the tourists sometimes partake. Lamu is famed for its culture, which is recognized and protected by the United Nations.
Being able to preserve its culture intact in terms of lifestyle, how we dress, how we how socialize with other people, how we do our things, the construction of houses, carving, selling dhows and all that. So it is part and parcel of the unique Swahili culture, which is still intact.
It is a calm, relaxing place, somewhere to get great seafood. There are no cars here. Locals get around on foot or by donkey. The annual Lamu Festival honors these beasts for their contribution to local lifestyles. There are also many other displays, competitions, and cultural traditions to experience. This is a fast animal. This is the first time we're coming here to compete. This rider is only 13 years old, and we are hoping to win. We had to involve the donkey owners in the festivities. They wanted to know how fast their donkeys run. They have always seen the horse races, but they have never competed, so it was a good chance for them to use the donkeys, and they were very happy. At the Mura shop, the customers find the latest deliveries to be fresh and satisfying. This is my business here in Lamu. When customers come here, they choose whatever they want. Some really like the soft leaves, while others like the tough ones with small twigs. Whatever they like, they always find here. We love Mura, and when we eat it, we don't sleep. They will have to soak our mattresses because we don't sleep at all. How much today? 900. I have given you a discount of 100 bob. This Mira is fresh. It is #1 quality. You have to check if it has been scorched by the sun or damaged by the heat from the car. All of this Mira has come from Meru. This acts like the fridge. If you don't use these banana leaves, the Mira can't get here. If you hold it like this, you can feel that it's very cool to touch. These leaves make sure that the Mira gets to Lamu fresh. Back in Meru, Nsibe is in higher spirits than usual. I am not really a patriot. I have a lot of jobs, but I have never been a policeman. I have lived with them for many years, though. I love their parade. The tow truck is rarely seen here in the village. But today, there's an important recovery. It was down there. Look at where the vehicle had hung. What really happened here? The vehicle went downhill to that part. The beast is the casualty. The owner is shocked, and Nsibe is nowhere to be found. I saw him from there and I screamed. You won't believe what I saw. The vehicle went downhill and turned like this. I asked God, we just came from a funeral the other day, and now we have to plan another one? I used a different road, so I was not with my uncle, but he got into a mishap. The car went into that ditch. But I can see the car is fine. My uncle is fine too. I just called him, so there was no big deal or anything terrible, only that it was just a bad mistake. Nsibe, Joseph, and Kefa are enjoying a small rest. But tomorrow, they will saddle up their flying trucks again. This is money to be made. Customers' thirst for the plant never stops, and neither do the flying trucks.